Hey everybody, Stock Picks by Tim here, and we've just been getting absolutely destroyed in the market, crypto and stock. And I want to talk about the cryptos that I've been buying, and then I'm going to get into a couple of stocks, my thoughts on stocks such as Matterport, Indy for example, and some of my purchases lately. Now first off, going over crypto, we've got a global crypto market cap of 1.6 trillion. Alright, last I gave an update on this, we were at 2 trillion. So this has dropped quite considerably here. And it seems like there's no end in sight, okay? We've got Bitcoin down at 35,000 now, just continuing downwards. All right, remember guys, I said if we were going to break 40, we're very likely to see the 33 to 36,000. Sure enough, we're at 35. We can continue down before finding a base. Just be aware we are a falling knife. Okay, if you're short term, you don't want to catch these falling knives, but if you're long term like I am, you see Bitcoin as a strong buy. Just continue to average through. Although keep some cash on the side because there is a very big possibility that this can continue downwards. Now looking at it, to me, of course, the big boys, Bitcoin, Ethereum, even Cardano, looking like a juicy buy right now. We have Cardano right at about $1. It got here before bouncing off, all right, last time. But it's very possible we can come down and test $1, break under, and then we're in the cents range. It's very possible. Now, as for some others, we've got Solana here under $100. This is just crazy. We've got a 34% drop in the last 7 days. When Bitcoin turns around, those altcoins that were high flyers just get absolutely crushed. We've got Terra Luna 26% down. Now, if you like these projects, it's a great time to just average in, start adding a little bit. Look at Polkadot. We're at $18, guys. This is insane. I think Polkadot's great to average in, continue to just buy slowly. Now, the running theme with a lot of these is keep some cash on the side because you never know when these just completely take off and rip, go up 100% or go down 50 to 100%. This can happen in the snap of a fingers. We'll look at Polygon. We've got Polygon 35% down at the $1.50 range. All right, if you believe in Polygon, you can mint NFTs on it, no gas fees. I think Polygon's a great alternative to Ethereum, although I do recommend having a little bit of Ethereum as well. But I do like Polygon a lot, especially at this price. Now continuing downward, we've got the meme coins getting absolutely wrecked. We've got Shiba Inu down 36%, 21% on the day. That's crazy. We've also got Crypto.com coin down at 33 cents. If you're long term on this, I think it's a great time to just continue to slowly buy. Okay, now if you're short term, if you're just now getting in, keep an eye on it, watch it, see where we're going, watch it start leveling out. Don't just buy this while it's in free fall. Of course, you want to keep an eye on Bitcoin as well. It can be unpredictable. The market can be unpredictable, stock and crypto. All right, but if you're looking at it from a long-term perspective, you just buy, hold, slowly acquire. The goal here is to slowly acquire the coins that you like and just take it from there. But now we know it's possible these days where, we lose 20% on a day, 15% on a day. With crypto, you got to be ready for that risk. It's very, very volatile. Let's keep going. We've got Phantom down 20%. This was the hot crypto just a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago, and now we're just getting totally destroyed. I think it's a great time to start adding some of these. For those of you that were curious about some of these cryptos, wondering if you should get in when it's been running up 10, 20, 30%, hey, why not buy now? Oh, now that it's going down, it doesn't look as attractive now, does it? Well, for me, since I'm a long-term investor, since I have a long-term mindset on this, I think a lot of these are worthy of just a dollar cost average, slowly buy in. Now, it can come down further, of course, but sometimes you got to take these opportunities for what they are, opportunities to continue to acquire at a lower price. All right, we've got Decentraland. We've got a lot of these metaverse plays, Decentraland, Axie. Look, 21% down, 20% down, 21% down. So I honestly think there's quite a bit of an overreaction. Look, we've got VeChain down 20%. I mean, there's deals everywhere, guys. Now, if you're low on cash, you might be hating life right now because you can't buy these great cryptos at a huge discount. And that's part of the stress that comes with just going in too heavy, leveraging yourself in too far, and not having that cash on the side. Cash is trash, but cash on the side is key. All right, we've got Sandbox down 18%. So the theme here is, cryptos are just completely getting wrecked. I think it's a great time to average in. Look at Harmony down 22%, 43% on the week. I mean, if you guys were into these a week ago when they were high flying, why not now? Why not buy now? You got to buy the fear and you got to sell that greed. Oh, we got Engine down, but it's okay. For the sake of not making this a 20-minute video, I want to get into stocks too. Let's go over one more of my favorites, and you know it's on page 2. We've got Voyager token 106. At 106, we've got it at 188. I think this is a great time to continue to add Voyager. The fundamentals are there, okay? Comparing to Crow, Voyager is at a much smaller cap. We're at 500 million. We've got a great executive team from E-Trade. And when you look at, I did a previous video about their fiscal year call. They're continuing to have growth. Might leave you guys a link to that if you want to listen to that. But, you know, it was very slept on. I don't think anyone else really covered that. But there's a lot of great little tidbits of info from Steve Elric, the CEO of Voyager. And this guy has experience at E-Trade. I think they all know what they're doing. There's actually like 3 or 4 execs from E-Trade. I love VGX, the crypto. I love Voyager, the stock, Voyager Digital. That's one to keep an eye on. Love that executive team. And I love the Voyager app. And check out the link below if you want. I've got crypto.com, Voyager, Webull, free stocks, free crypto. Definitely check it out, and it helps me out a lot. Now, let's get into a couple of stocks here. Now, first off, one stock that I did buy, just one share, Disney. It's here at 137. I did buy at 140. I decided to start back up into the buying phase. We did kind of bounce off this like 136, 137, and we're retesting it. I think it can continue downwards, so just be careful with Disney, but I did see it as an opportunity to just add a little bit to my position. I have since sold, I had 16 shares, I sold 14. I did a video about that, sold 14 right around like the 156 level. And I think now's a great time to just slowly add. I think it can come down further. I think it's going to test 135, maybe even 130. All right, especially if the market continues to just kind of tumble. But I think it's a great time to just average into Disney. Looking at this long term, I think there's a fantastic deal at this price, and I'm not going to be too picky. Now, there's a very good chance, though, that it can come down further. Technical wise, we're bearish on the candles. RSI is oversold, though. We might have a little bounce here soon. But just be aware, you know, a lot of falling knives out there, so be careful. Just slowly add, potentially. If they're long-term holds, just work on accumulation. But keep cash on the side. Can't stress that enough. Now, Disney did kind of a sympathy drop because you'll see that Netflix released their earnings. Earnings was good. Their EPS was decent. Their revenue beat. But the thing is that they predict a subscriber slowdown, okay? So they're expecting their growth to slow in the opening months of 2022. And I think this is why Disney fell, kind of as a sympathy thing. Now, one thing to be aware of is Netflix has been around for quite a longer time. So I feel like that growth, that subscriber growth, is starting to slow down, okay? But Disney, I don't think that's going to be the case with Disney. Disney Plus is still pretty new. And for what you get with Disney Plus, you also get the ESPN and Hulu bundle. I believe it's like 15 bucks or something. So it's very hard to beat. I honestly like Disney, the app. I like going on Disney. They've got Simpsons. They've got all kinds of Marvel stuff. I mean, Disney is definitely a beast. I think it's definitely worthy of just average in. Now, as for Netflix, I wouldn't touch it right now. I wouldn't personally touch Netflix. I want to see it drop a little bit more before I even consider it. But that's basically Disney. I have been adding, I did add one share, and I'm looking to add some more next week, especially if we test 135, 130. But just be careful there. You know, it is a falling knife, so those of you that are short term, you might not want to catch these falling knives. But if you're long term and you're looking at stocks from an accumulation standpoint, I think now's a great time to add in. All right, and another one that's kind of just in a continued free fall, Matterport. We're testing that $10 range. Now you'll notice it's trying to stop falling. It's just kind of trying to level out here at 10. It's trying to hold that 10. We'll see what it does. I think it's very possible that we break 10. We've got the earnings coming up here, and they are expected to be a negative EPS, which, you know, in a normal market, that's all fine and well. But in this current market, I think that's going to be another reason for people to potentially sell. Although we already expect it to be a negative EPS. I mean, even if they beat a little bit, it's still a money-burning company. And this current environment is just not the environment for those types of companies. It's going to likely continue down. I think it's going to come towards 9, maybe 8 before kind of leveling out and starting to kind of bottom out. I still think it's worthy of a buy and average through, and that's what I've been continuing to do. Now, I did say that towards end of January, it's just going to, you know, be likely the bottom. All right, end of January, possibly beginning of February, we might get that bottom here. But I'm just going to continue to average through it, and so far, so good. Glad I didn't just go all in at, you know, 15, 16, seeing it down here, thinking it's going to return. I'm glad that I've just been continuing to average through, and I'm not done yet. I'm going to continue. I'm about I'd say I'm about halfway built out on my Matterport position, so I do want to continue to add. And, you know, what better time than now? What better time than a week from now, 2 weeks from now? I think that's going to be the prime time to just continue to average in, add some Matterport, average down. And that's basically my thoughts on that. We're going to jump over to the Form 4s though. And you will notice a ton of Form 4s, although when you look through them, I'll give you an example. Now, some of these are acquisitions, and these are RSUs, restricted stock units, which is basically like an employee-based compensation, and there's different limitations to it. You know, it might be based on specific performance of the company, might be based on certain numbers, might be even time released, you know, where if you're here for a certain amount of time, we'll grant you these shares that you can, you know, that you can then sell if you make it to this certain point in time. Now, one thing you'll see that they did sell, there have been a couple of sells. Now, it looks like they're just selling some because they have acquired more in the new year. There was one here that has to do with Lux Ventures, okay? And this is one of the early investors back when Matterport was a SPAC, it looks like to me. The ownership is indirect, okay? So it's through him indirectly to Lux Ventures, all right? And a couple other different funds. You'll see number 3 Special Founders Fund, 3LP, and co-invest opportunities. So this is like an investment firm. And you'll see code J. Now, what is a code J? Now, a code J is a other acquisition or disposition transaction described in the footnotes. And also M is another one that you'll see a lot on the Form 4s. Now, code M basically stands for the exercise or conversion of derivatives, okay? So options, that kind of thing. Now, you'll see that code M here. All right. Now, a lot of these, they acquired new stock based on, you know, the RSUs or based on employee-based compensation. So what some of them did, they did sell some shares. So honestly here, to me, nothing very alarming. All right. And they did acquire more RSUs. Now these are older ones that they did dispose of. So to me, for Matterport, nothing extremely alarming with their Form 4s. Just a little bit of kind of rolling out of old stock and obtaining new stock based on the company. You know, that was to be expected. But it's good to not see just a huge dump. But yeah, keep an eye on the Form 4s. Continue to watch these throughout January. You know, you might see some more possible selling. But yeah, keep an eye on the Form 4s. Now, next up is Indy, and I'm sure you guys know what I'm doing here. Yes, I am buying, although short term, this is a falling knife, but I do love Indy, the company, and I'm long term on this one. We are lower than we've ever been here. We dropped down to that $8 level once we released from, what was it, THBR, I believe. And we came down, tested $8, bounced up, started just like this nice uptrend, and we have been downtrending. I think this is a great time to average in. If you don't have a position yet, and you're long-term minded, now's a great time to add. If you're short-term minded, however, this is a falling knife, but we are oversold on the RSI, and MACD looks like it's about to curl. MACD looks like it's wanting to curl around. Candles are still bearish, not able to hold any of the EMAs. And that's basically the running theme with a lot of these smaller caps. They are continuing down, so just be careful, be patient. There's a good chance you can catch Indy even in the, 650 range if we just continue on this downtrend. And so far, the looks of it, the trend is your friend until the end, and we'll see when things start turning around. So just be careful, keep some cash on the side, but if you believe in the company, your goal is to acquire shares, and now I think is a great time to continue to acquire shares of Indy. Now, there are a lot of stocks out there that if you're long-term minded are just extremely great buys. Another example of that is CleanSpark. We're here at 638, but keep in mind that we did break this like $7 support level here. We may come down further before bottoming out. If you're long-term on CleanSpark, you know what to do. This is a great time to average in. I mean, you're getting this, back when these were 11, you're getting 2 shares for the price of 1 compared to when this was $11, $12. So if you're looking at it from that standpoint, with the goal of just acquiring as many shares possible, now's a great time to average in. Now's a great time to add. But one thing to be aware of, though, is Bitcoin is continuing downwards. So over this weekend, if Bitcoin comes down to 32, 30 even, it's very likely that CleanSpark can drop next week, just because it's like a rubber band ready to snap. Looking over the weekend, Bitcoin just pushing all that downward pressure. Bitcoin falling, that's going to put a lot of downward pressure on CleanSpark. And the inverse can be said as well, as in if Bitcoin starts rising into Monday, maybe we bottom out around 34, 33 and start just going on a tear, going on a run up to 35, 37. It's very possible CleanSpark can get a little bit of bullish momentum, but just be aware we did break our major support here. It's possible we come down, test some lower levels before coming back around. But just keep an eye on CleanSpark. I think it's definitely worthy of a buy here. If you're short term, however, if you're like a day trader, very short term trader, keep an eye on it. We are still a falling knife. And that's basically the theme with like all of these stocks, a lot of these cryptos. Try not to catch falling knives, although if you are a long-term investor, if you see a lot of deals out there, don't be too picky. So you got to kind of straddle that balance beam. You got to be in between not buying too many falling knives, but also being where you're not too picky, because in no time this can turn around and just go back to a rally. So just be careful out there, guys. Remember to keep some cash on hand. And yeah, you know, there's a lot of other stocks out there that in my eyes are great deals, but are also falling knives. So you just got to be careful. But that's the thing, you know, you got to buy that fear and you sell the greed. Right now, it's obvious that we're in fear. If you're looking back from, say, 5 years from now, looking back, we're going to miss these prices, I can guarantee it. But that's basically all I got for you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. I put out videos every day. It definitely helps me out, and I do appreciate it. And until next time, peace.